Hey everyone, it's Kristen Dunkley here, and I am with Melissa with Franklin Septic Pumping, and I just want to learn a little bit more about your business. So can you kind of tell us what you do?
So I pump people's septic tanks. We also sometimes check baffles. We will dig the hole. My father had the business for 43 years. He started in 1972.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. And I've been running it now for 7 years, almost 8. This is going on my 8th year. Last year made 50 years in business.
That's amazing.
Family owned. So, and I hope my kids will carry it on.
Do you think they will?
I think so. One of them has some interest in it, and it's the girl, of course. But
yeah, that's okay.
I've added to my business. I think my father would be pretty proud. Porta potties. We have 26 porta potties, and we also have a station that you can use for washing. So if you have an event, or you have
cool.
a graduation, or
Yep.
you have a big cookout and you don't want people using your bathroom because your septic is going to get full, or you don't know what people are putting in it.
Right.
We have porta potties to rent, and my dad didn't want to do that. No. So, but anyways, yes, we've had that to stay, in local, around the Lakes region.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So have you found that that's been pretty busy and successful for you so far?
Yes. I've had a lot of phone calls for the porta potties for events. People are starting to call now because they can't find them. I don't know. It seems weird. It's scarce of a lot of people getting it out of it.
Right.
So I'm trying to stay local and not go too far because I have to service it. I don't have another truck to take it.
Oh, so you use this to service?
I use this to service
Okay.
it, and then I have to take and use my pickup truck with my trailer to pull them and put them in people's.
Okay. They're pretty fancy looking.
Yeah. I picked the red because Dad's was red, white, and blue, and so I was like, well, can't get blue, I can go red with white.
Well, in nice looking truck, so I have a question. Little Turd is on your door.
Yep. So my maiden name is Hurd.
Okay.
H-U-R-D.
Okay.
And I was the youngest out of all of them, and my father doing septic tanks in high school. We had nicknames, and everybody came up with Little Turd because my father doing septic tanks.
Oh, that's awesome. Actually, yeah, that makes sense.
And on the other side of my truck, because my grandson's been riding, I put Little Poopy.
Oh, that's cute. That's perfect.
Yep.
I love it. All right. So is there anything about this truck that you can tell us that may interest people?
I can come out and I can do up to 2,500 gallons of septic to pump. And we have over 100 feet of hose, so you can get to the tanks. Sometimes there can be difficult. People got them behind their house, and you got to run 4 or 5 hoses to get to them. The pump don't like it, but it will pull and get it done. Get the job done.
Right. So, it's a little bit more difficult.
Yep, and I can. I have some tools on my truck that I can locate if people can't find. I haven't not yet found one.
Okay.
I use the old school. A lot of people use the technology, and people ask, do you have this electronic device, a metal detector? You don't need any of that.
Okay.
It's a probe. It's common sense.
Right.
And then we'll find them and dig them up. And if you need a line snaked, we can snake a line.
Okay.
I've done all of that. I've unclogged people's places, and it's not fun, but it's a shitty job.
I can't even imagine. No offense, but
I've had a few come out in my face.
Really?
Oh yeah, take the cap off and turn it slowly, and all of a sudden it just releases. And if you're not ready for it and you don't know, the first couple times I done that for somebody, which I knew about it, I just wasn't prepared and ready.
Right.
I caught it, yeah. And I'm like, I'd look up in the sky
But
and
you
just
learned.
say, "Thank you, Dad," and yep, all right, now I know.
That will not happen again.
Yep,
That's
yep.
awesome.
So I also I've gone for the inspection license. I haven't finished it yet.
Oh.
So I'll be
Good.
able to do that for people.
Okay, so you're so you can actually eventually go and do septic inspections.
Yep.
Which would
So
be
if you were
great.
selling a home,
Yep.
I could go inspect that in the leach field.
Okay, perfect. Well, I was going to say, who better, right? You know septic's
Right.
better than anybody.
Yep.
All right. What's the process to do that?
You have to take a class, an 8-hour class, in the room class. Then you take an 8-hour outside classroom. They actually go out in the field, and they have all these leach fields, and they teach you about them. You have to study them. They break you up into group, and you do actually a an evaluation of it, and then the group all talks about it, and then afterwards you have to take a test, and you pass the test, and then once that's done, you have to take and do a what do you call it? It's a 5-page paper, and then you have to have somebody that, you know, like yourself, say a little bit about why I know about septic, just,
Okay.
you know, and why I know about the leach fields and how do I know, and then I submit that to the New Hampshire DES place, and then they come back and they give me my license, which you have to pay for. It's
Okay.
a process of elimination of everything.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds like.
So that's where I am. I'm in the process of the elimination of
Well, that's cool.
doing
though.
my paperwork so that I can pay the money to get my license. And then it's good for 2 years. And I think you have to have classroom time. I can't remember because it's been a while. But you have to have another like 8-hour classroom after 2 years.
I was gonna say probably continuing.
Yep.
Kind of similar to
yep.
us.
Yep.
Okay.
To continue on having your license
Okay.
to do that.
That'll be cool. So you've probably seen a lot of different types of tanks and septics.
Oh, yeah.
Over the years.
Yep.
I think that's one of the things that I find very interesting, especially on older homes or at camps. All the, you know, somebody would describe it to me, and I'm like, I don't understand it till you see it, and it's like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, there's the old steel round tanks that I come across a lot of with a cement cover, like a regular square one you would have.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh, yeah, I've got 1,000 gallon. I get there, I'm like, this is an old round, after I pump it down, I'm like, this is an old round steel one.
Yeah.
I said, this isn't a cement upgraded new one.
Right.
Oh, it's not? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. Have you found too that they're even changing from the concrete to
Plastic.
yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
And do you feel that that's going to have a longer lifespan?
No,
Okay.
no, I think plastic is not going to be better than a cement tank. A cement tank, even the steel tanks I've seen at people's homes 30 years plus. The cement tanks, same thing. I think the plastic, because of the deterioration of the chemicals that go into your toilet and into your cleaning products,
Right.
your wash machine now dumps into them, because sometimes back in the day they never did. They had a
They're like a little
cesspool
Yeah,
type
yeah,
well,
dry well.
that it would go in. Now everything goes into your septic tank. I think the plastic is going to deteriorate faster. It's going to eat away at that plastic.
It's funny too, because I hear, well, it's going to be better because the concrete, because obviously anything's going to deteriorate over time.
Right.
But yeah, I would think the concrete would have a much longer lifespan.
We put concrete bodies, in the ground. So why wouldn't
Right.
we're not doing plastic, so that's what I kind of see it as. And the concrete ones, I mean, mine's been here 29 years and I've never had to replace it.
Right. Yeah, I don't think we have any problem
It's
with
all
that.
in how you use it and what you're using it, you're putting into it
Right.
is I think is the lifespan of it. And back in the day, they didn't have, and this is why these have lasted so long, they didn't have your wipes. You didn't have all the chemicals that goes
Yes.
into
Yep.
cleaning supplies. They used soap and water. We use now Comet, we use all the bleaching stuff, and that's what deteriorates that tank.
Yep.
The other thing is they found when I took the class, and my dad always said that Riddex was never good. Riddex is the worst on the market.
Yep.
You don't put it in your tank. Now they're finding it's eating at around your baffles where the concrete is
Interesting.
in there, sitting in there. And people think, oh, Riddex is great. Well, no, it's not. Use
Right.
natural stuff.
Right.
Yeast and sugar.
Right.
That helps the enzymes.
Right.
Because you want more enzymes, especially with all of the chemicals that's going in.
Right. Right. No, that makes sense. I mean, it's similar to, well, not similar to. I had a client who wanted to have the tank pumped out, but they weren't going to live there until the next year. And the septic person, and maybe you can tell me if this is correct, said that wasn't wise because if you pump it out and there's nothing going in there, it could freeze.
Yes. Yep.
So you're actually better off leaving it as it is if you're not going to use it.
Yep. If it's a empty home, it's better off to leave some in it if you're not using it
Okay.
than it is to pump it down and not, because now you have nothing in there. And you're as long as it's below the frost wall, I mean, it's okay, but you shouldn't still leave it empty.
Right.
Because that liquid that's in there, I mean, catch 20/20 too, because if you're not using it, that's not heated anymore because it comes out of your body at 98 degrees.
True.
And it sits in that tank.
Right.
So now that water that's sitting in that tank isn't staying at that temperature, which it's not that in the ground anyways, but it cools off.
Right.
It's just like if I put it in this tank here and I leave it here in the wintertime, it's going to freeze.
Right.
You know, part of it's going to, not all of it.
Right.
But if I left it for a long time, it would in that steel tank.
Right. Right, like anything.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So is there anything you'd like to share that people don't know about you or your business?
I don't know. I enjoy what I'm doing. I'm glad to carry on my dad's business. It's mine now, but I mean,
Well, it's a family. It's
it's like an heirloom type thing.
Yeah.
And I'm very pleased to be doing it. The only girl around that's doing it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Woman power.
Yeah.
I like it.
I get that a lot when I pull in. People are like, "Oh my God, you the one I talked to on the phone?" I'm like, "Yep, I'm doing it all."
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's awesome. So you do it all.
Yep, I do.
So you take the calls, you do everything.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, I take the calls, I drive the truck, I pump the tank, I dig the hole, I deliver my porta potties. My children, sometimes when we have to remove them, I have to drive this because nobody has a CDL. They take the truck, follow me, we service it, and I bring it home.
Okay. All right.
So,
And what is I guess the last question I have is, what is your service area? What's the farthest you'll go?
I've been as far as New Boston, which not down near Bradford area, Henniker. Not very seldom do I go there. I cover get a lot of calls, I guess you'd say, is Franklin, Samerton, New Hampton, Alexandria, Campton, Thornton, around the Bristol, Newfound Lake.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a lot of places that my dad had covered, or this company has covered, and Andover, Wilmot, Warner, New London, kind of, I guess you'd say the Lakes region.
Yep.
But I don't go too far, like into Moulton Borough.
Yeah, because that is
Pumping,
because
there's it's a hike, and there's other people over that way. You got bottom feeders, you've got some other septic people that cover that area. So
okay.
I might get a call here and there, but not on the norm.
Okay. All right. Well, it's good to know. And anything else you want to share?
Nope, I don't think so.
All right. Well, thank you again for
You're
taking
welcome.
the time on this gorgeous day.
Yes.
We get to be outside with your truck, who's not full right now.
No, it's not full. It's empty.
So it's smelling okay today. Not that it wouldn't. But thank you again. I really appreciate it. And everyone, you heard it here. If you need your septic pumped or you need some porta potties, give Melissa a call. And I'll make sure to put your contact information on there as well.
Cool. Thank you.
And that's it.